I made one change to the offer in a business Facebook ads, and that change turned it into a $113 million a year juggernaut. And in this video, I'm going to tell you this business's crazy success story. I'm going to show you what this new offer was and how it completely changed this industry. Okay, so I'm really excited to get into this one. The numbers and the results involved are absolutely insane. I want to quickly start by giving you a bit of context on this business so you better understand when I talk about the offer and the results and the impact that it have, all the interesting stuff as we go through. Okay, so this company was a boiler company, UK based, and they did supply and install. So if you need a new boiler, your old one's broken, they'll come and supply the new one and install it in your property. Mostly residential is what this company did. Operated nationwide. Enormous market. It's about 27 million homes in the UK. Boilers break and they need replacing. Lots of potential customers, and it's a very hungry crowd. Like everyone knows, the weather in the UK, whether or not you're watching this from the UK or not, is not great. If your boiler breaks, it controls your heating, your hot water. You're going to want to get that fixed ASAP. So it's very much when you need this offer, this product, and this service, because you need it, then you need it installed. You are willing to pay and get it fixed ASAP. So the industry average, not this business, the average at the time was about £3,000 for a new boiler to have it, for the actual thing itself, and then to have it installed in your property. This business average price was about £1,250, so significantly less. They were very much competing on price. Now, they're not offering the exact same as the average unit. This would be a less expensive unit, but also trying to be very competitive on price. They did offer a 72-hour guaranteed installation, which I always thought was a fantastic part of their offer, their original offer, before we introduced the new one. Because like I said, if you have an issue with your boiler in the UK, does your heating, does your hot water, you're going to want to get that sorted as soon as possible. So when you're advertising and you've got a 72-hour guaranteed installation, your competitors don't for a product like this, that's going to help you get a lot more conversions. So that was a great part they already had of their offer. And their customers were acquired exclusively through Meta ads and Google ads. It was all cold, paid traffic. There was no sort of brand really associated with a relatively new company. And yeah, that's how they got their customers. So the cost per lead, remember this is before we started working with them, before we introduced the new offer, was about £90 cost per lead on Meta. I don't think we ever actually got the information for their cost per lead on Google, but most of the budget, the vast majority of the budget was going through Meta ads. Google was more being used for sort of like remarketing and things along those lines. So about £90 cost per lead. I also don't unfortunately know the conversion rate from lead to customer at this point. Once we started working with them, introducing the new offer, I have all that data and I will share it because it's really, really interesting. But we don't know what their conversion rate was at that point, but I do know that a £90 cost per lead was absolutely not profitable for this business. Both from the conversations I was having with the business owner, it was very clear this wasn't profitable, but also just think about it. If you're paying £90 cost per lead, even if you've got a really good conversion rate, the customers are only worth just over £1,000. You've got to deduct from that the cost of the boiler, the cost of labour to do the install. This company's competing on price. Their margins are quite thin. Like, you can see how that would not be profitable. So this business is in a situation where we either needed to increase price significantly to increase margins and make, say, a £90 cost per lead work, or reduce their cost per lead significantly. And honestly, if I was just giving regular business advice, I would normally advise to increase price and then improve the value of what you provide to justify the increased price, operate with much larger margins. That allows you to invest more into your marketing. I think it leads to a much more profitable business overall. But this business owner did not want to do that. Totally get that. I've had that conversation with so many business owners where I'm like, I think we should go this way. And they're like, no. Our price point is one of our big selling points. We need to reduce cost per lead. And I get it, right? And that's what obviously we look to do for a lot of clients. And that's what we did in this scenario. And significant reductions in cost per lead of the type that this business needed, they're obviously not easy to achieve. Anyone that's been advertising on Meta will know that if you want to halve your cost per lead or more, that's not easy to do. So we knew we had to do something quite significant, right? A 20% reduction, like we said, they weren't profitable, they weren't close to being profitable. If we knocked their cost per lead on Meta down from £90 to £75, that was just not going to do it. We're gonna have to do something more significant than that. So we started with the highest leverage element of a Meta ad campaign, and that's the offer. That's the one thing that you can change and hope to see a massive difference in your results. A lot of people want to mess around with the settings at the ad set level, various targeting options, and they can make an improvement, but it's not going to get you the sort of improvement that we needed within this ad campaign. We needed to see something really significant, therefore the offer was the obvious place to start. So let me explain what the new offer was. So the new offer was very simply £6 per week for 5 years, right? Let me flesh that out a little bit. and give a bit more context. So the customer, instead of paying the £1,250 upfront as they were doing previously, would pay £6 per week, 5 years of payments. So the new customer LTV actually increased a bit, because if you do £6 times 5 years, 5 times 52, you get to £1,560 as the customer average lifetime value. The previous one, like I mentioned, being £1,250. We kept the 72-hour guaranteed installation. I always felt that was a really good part of the previous offer. Absolutely ported that across and had that as a core part of the new offer that we knew would help drive leads. That's exactly the same as before. So all the new Facebook ads that we created really emphasize these two core components of the new offer. The 72-hour guaranteed installation. Anyone who's interested in this has either got a boiler that's not working very well at the moment, kind of maybe had an issues, maybe you've had people out to come and have a look at it, try and fix it, but you need a new one at some point, or people who have literally got a boiler that's done, it's dead, and they need a new one ASAP. So the 72-hour guaranteed installation is absolutely fantastic. And then only £6 per week. Think about how much more attractive that is to a lot of people. Instead of having to get together the £1,250, which many people wouldn't be able to do, it's just £6 per week. You can have a new boiler in, it'll be working within less than 3 days. Isn't that brilliant? So that was a real offer, and we really put that offer as the core focus of the ads. We had it in the creative, we had it in the copy, we made it as clear as we possibly could. Now I should say that finance offers in the UK boiler market are now very common. Like if you go ahead and Google this now, you will see lots of companies offering finance related offers, but they weren't when we introduced this, when we ran these campaigns, which is, like I mentioned previously, a few years ago. Now this new offer, because other businesses weren't doing it, gave this business a massive competitive advantage. We've already talked about the obvious benefits to the end consumer, to the customer, and if your competitors aren't doing this, that's a big win. Now let's take a look at the results. So the cost per lead. Remember, the previous cost per lead before this new offer was £90. The new cost per lead was £6.50. Now I expected this new offer to significantly reduce the cost per lead. I didn't think it would reduce the cost per lead that much. Like, that was a very pleasant surprise. That was amazing to see, and it shows the power of this offer and how much more appealing this was to the people seeing the ads for it. So conversion rate previously under the previous offer, we don't know what it was. Under the new offer, it was 1 in 8. I do think that could probably be improved upon. I typically, for any sort of service-based, I know there's a product involved in this, but I'd categorize this as more of a service-based business because it is being installed as well, that we'd want that closer to say a 20%, but 12.5% was still great given the massively reduced cost per lead. Okay, let's carry on with results. So what does that mean in terms of cost to acquire a customer? So we've got £6.50, divide that by 12.5%, you get to £52. So this company was acquiring new customers for £52 each. I remember the customer lifetime value, so what's a customer worth to this business, is now, with the new offer, £1,560. We did actually adjust that in our forecasting and in our reporting to the previous customer lifetime value of £1,250, and that's because of expected failed payments. I think this is really important when you're calculating lifetime value of your customers. If you have like a payment plan or even like a subscription business, but in this scenario, a payment plan would be more applicable. Not everyone is going to make all the payments, and you should absolutely factor that into your numbers. Don't assume that everyone's going to make all the payments and you'd be like, oh great, our lifetime value is £4,000, therefore we can afford to pay this to acquire a customer. It's like, yeah, it might be closer to 3.5, because a certain percentage of people are not going to keep up with the payments. And with a business like this, you then got a decision to make. Is it even worth doing anything about it? So like, you either go and take the boiler out their house, it might cost more than just to forget about it. So I don't exactly know what this business did in those scenarios where they had failed payments from customers, but yeah, so we factored that into the numbers, and so we did an adjusted customer lifetime value of 1,250, which was the previous one. So if you're looking at return on ad spend, you're looking at, under the new customer value, a 30x return on ad spend. Under the adjusted one, still a 24x return on ad spend, which means that for every £1 invested in meta ads, £24 of revenue was generated for this business, which is absolutely fantastic. And obviously very, very profitable, which is great. So we scaled their meta ad campaigns significantly. Why wouldn't you when you're getting such fantastic results, reaching a peak daily budget of £10,000 per day, £300,000 per month, which is roughly $400,000 per month. I know a lot of people watch my videos not in the UK, so I translate to dollars because because people are more familiar with that currency. So let me show you what this translated to for this business in terms of the results at scale and what it actually meant for them, right? So like we discussed, the ad budget at its peak, £300,000 per month. If you work out based on the cost per lead, you get to just over 46,000 leads per month, which is crazy volume. And at the conversion rate, you're looking at 5,700 odd customers generated per month. I remember there were so many customers being generated. We look at these numbers thinking this is incredible. We actually worked out at the time what that meant in terms of total market share. And I remember Googling at the time, there's roughly 700,000 new boilers in residential homes bought, fitted per year, right? 27 million homes, that many break, need replacing, etc., etc. And what that meant, if you work it out, right, based on the customers of 5,700, is that just over 10% of the new boilers at that time being fitted into residential properties in the UK were being done by this company. And this is a relatively new company, which is just absolutely insane, shows the power of a new offer, a really good offer, and an offer that your competitors aren't using. That's important to note as well. So if you work out the revenue based on the customers generated and the average customer value, you're looking at £7.21 million in monthly revenue from these campaigns. If we work that out annually, times by 12, we get to 86.5 million, which roughly translates to $113 million of annual revenue, additional annual revenue added with these meta ad campaigns. So I mean, just crazy results. I'm not sure that I've ever run a meta ad campaign that has added more value to a business than this one. Hopefully in the future, but yeah, this was something really special, which is why I wanted to share the story with you. So unfortunately, we only actually worked with this business for a few months as an agency because, and looking back, this is unsurprising, they were bought by one of the big players in the industry. I think when you make that much of a splash and you grab that much market share as a relatively new company with something new, we see this in the tech space all the time, right? A larger company will go, oh, that's really good. We're going to go ahead and acquire you and take advantage of what you're doing, but also eliminate you as a competitor effectively. And actually, I remember at the time, we ran these ads for this company a number of years ago when my agency was much smaller. This was our biggest client by far at the time. We were so excited because the results were so amazing. And it was pretty devastating to hear that first we were told we need to scale the campaigns back because we think we're going to be acquired from this client. And then we're told to turn them off whilst they went through, I don't know, negotiations and whatever. I've not been through a process like that, so I don't know the technical details, but that was pretty tough at the time because obviously we thought things were flying, but looking back, this is not that surprising that happened. But the important thing here is that like this new finance offer, the £6 per week, as opposed to just paying for it upfront in a marketplace that didn't offer this, combined I think with the 72-hour guaranteed installation, resulted in just an enormous decrease in cost per lead, like unexpectedly massive decrease in cost per lead, which resulted in enormous growth, tons of customers acquired, and a lot of enterprise value. Enterprise value being the value of the company. This company became so valuable that a much larger established competitor came in and bought the company. So I've got a quick question for you. Would you like us to help massively explode your business with improved Facebook ad results? Now, I am not saying by any means that we'll be able to turn your business into a $113 million a year juggernaut, but I am very confident that we'd be able to reduce your cost per lead or your cost per purchase, obviously depending on which of those is more important for your business. So there's a couple of ways we can help. I'm going to run through them very, very quickly. So firstly, Heath Media, my specialist Meta and Google Ads agency. We offer done-for-you services. We can create, manage, and optimize your ad campaigns for you. Take that workload off your hands, most likely get you significantly better results. There is a link in the video description below. If you're interested, you can go ahead, book a free, no-obligation call to find out more about how we might be able to help. We do have a 5K per month minimum budget requirement, so if you're over that, go ahead and book a call. Honestly, if you're at that scale, it makes a lot more sense to hand this over to a specialist agency like myself who's going to be able to get you better results so you can focus on other areas of your business. But obviously a lot of people watching this video won't have that budget requirement, and if that's you, we can still help you because we have Facebook Ads Mastery. Facebook Ads Mastery is brand new course material. It's my new course with community. It's the best stuff we've ever created, never before seen. It's not on YouTube, anywhere else. It's the stuff we're using to train our internal staff to get the best possible results for our clients all the best Facebook ads related information that we have is in there. Comes with a school community, more than 700 business owners just like you. They're already in there. There's daily interaction from me and my team. We're answering questions, providing feedback, taking a look at people's ads, helping them out in any way we can to get them the best possible Facebook and Instagram ad results within Facebook Ads Mastery. We also do live calls, live trainings, and Q&As, both with me and some of my expert team members as well. So trying to provide as much value as we can. It only costs £97 per month, and if you're under that 5K budget level at the moment, this is probably going to be the better option for you. Link is in the video description. Very last thing, if you found this video valuable, you'd like me to make more like this, a bit different from my regular style, then please go ahead and subscribe and let me know in the comments. I will keep an eye out, and what you say really impacts the content that I create. Hopefully this has been valuable, and I'll see you soon.